But and that's what I kind of wanted to touch on today was the whole issue with mental health and depression and suicide and stuff like that, and how much we have been just completely ignoring it for over the course of time and just acting like you remember Pop would come back from the Vietnam War and Pop was a little off, a little crazy, and there's some things he wouldn't do, and we would just chalk it up to like, Pop was in the war, he's seen some shit, and move on. Like, dude, he's like struggling every single day trying to just be normal. You know what I mean? Trying to just like not kill my mom. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't mean to joke about it, but I mean it's as serious as it is. Like, he literally saw things in war that our veterans and our soldiers are seeing right now. Alrighty, welcome back to another Champ Talk with Brandon Hudson. I am your host, Brandon Hudson. Sitting to my left is
the Eric Evans.
Every time.
Here we go.
Yes. And to our far left is Chad. Where's Chad, guys?
He's taking a poop.
He's pooping?
Yeah.
Yo, this is going to be like the best podcast ever without Chet, dude. We are going to like blow this stuff up tonight, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be like the classic of all classics. I see how excited you are. You're like holding it back. You're like,
I'm so happy Chet ain't here.
Yo,
I can't stand Chet. Have I ever told you that?
I hate Chet Corbin.
Man.
We do not love Chet Corbin.
It's just pathetic.
Oh,
damn
fuck.
it, he's here.
Damn it.
Shit.
This was going to be the best one ever. Now he shows up all late and wrong. All right, let's take two. Hi, welcome to Champ Talk with Brandon Hudson. This is your host, Brandon Hudson. To my left is the
Eric Evans.
And the Spartacus chap coming up to your left, Mr. I am late, I love Chet Corman. Yay, Chet. Look how he comes in. Yay, everybody's so happy.
You don't have a headphone.
All right, while Chet gets ready, I'll go ahead and do my ones and twos. This episode of Champ Talk is brought to you by Dead Stock of Salisbury. We have, for all your shoe apparel needs, consignment, buy and trade, sale, all the above. Dead Stock is the place you want to go for all your sneakers. As a matter of fact, booyah! Look at these fresh kicks I got from Dead Stock, baby. Oh. Dead. What?
You see the bottom of them?
What's on them? Oh my gosh! I really am the shitty one.
Put that in slow motion. Make sure that's in slow motion.
That's classic.
Oh, I could have scripted it no better. I promise that wasn't planned. Anyway, hey, Chet, how you doing?
Good, man.
Good. We got some headphones coming for you. Thanks for being 25 minutes late.
I can still hear you.
We appreciate all that you do for this program, Chet. You're a man of many trades. Anyway, gosh, we had a lot of good stuff going on this weekend. Let's talk about the first and foremost. How we looking with cameras? We good? This is such a crazy,
What a production.
crazy episode, folks. All right, first, guys, let's talk about The Price of Glory, Taylor McMahon, Pretty Boy. If you guys don't know, the build-up has been here for about 4 or 5 months. Mr. Maurice Waters Jr. himself, the brand, and what's Logan's last name? I always forget. Logan
Phillips.
Logan Phillips put on the premiere of the Taylor McMahon, the Price of Glory movie. It was a private screening that turned kind of public because I invited everybody because I have bad habit of doing that shit. But the great thing is Coach Eric didn't see it.
I didn't.
I love Chet, never saw it.
No, I saw it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I was. Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, I never saw it.
Gosh, man, Eric, we're so sorry. We don't love you. No, actually, nobody saw it other than like 4 or 5 people, man. So Coach Miles, Coach DeMont, which is one of the executive producers. Everybody didn't get to see it. Family was there, the whole nine, and wow. Like, I think it really hit me, Maurice, myself, that one. Seeing it like in that setting and stuff. First of all, boy, I came in there looking good. Y'all. I don't know about the rest of them motherfuckers, boy. Hey, I was fresher than a new pack of gum. I looked like I was shipping packs right off the boat, baby. You know what I mean? I talk like, a little bit of an Italian accent or Mexican or I don't know, man. I just had me.
How are you doing?
I don't know. I'm all hopped up on SBY coffee right now. So, no, dude. No, it was great, man. Rody Joe's. Big thank you to Rody Joe's. They put on the place up in their new golf simulator ordeal upstairs. I have not seen that since it was finished. That will look
it's a nice room.
Amazing, yes.
The screens. I mean, and for what it was used for that night, I didn't know.
Bro,
they could do all that. I thought they were just going to show it some other way, but that was
Oh, it was great. It was
huge
dual
screens.
screen. It was
Yeah.
it was packed house.
the sound.
And the sound was good, and I mean, it was. I mean, I know I sound biased, but I mean, I was pretty blown away by it. What did Eric? Since you were the one who hasn't seen it at the table, what did you think, man?
I thought it was great. I really did. I was impressed with Maurice is the man.
Oh, my
Which
gosh.
I already knew that because I actually got to do some things with him before, and he put together some stuff, so that was cool. But watching it, just like I said, I love the ending where.
Don't tell. Don't tell.
I can't spoil it. You got to watch it. For people who don't know, it is a surprise. The ending, how it is, and then just, I mean, that was amazing. That was great. And of course, you tried to steal the show in there. Talking about let's make it the Brandon Hudson show. F. Taylor. I can't say the other word, but he was like, forget it. I thought that was funny too. But it was good. It was put together really good.
Well, I cannot help that the camera attracts to me. All right, it wasn't that I went after the camera. It was the camera just came to me, and you know what I mean. And I cannot help that. I'm who I am, baby. Hey, this pretty boy. This is the pretty boy, right? No, Taylor, pretty boy, right? My grandma said I'm handsome. All right, so I don't want to hear that shit. He need to get his weight up because sometimes I got things to say now. No, I mean, of course I fucking steal the light. I don't mean to. I always run my mouth
It just
and say
happens.
the
You
stuff.
can't help yourself.
I
It's
can't,
okay.
dude. I'm having fun.
And once you realize that that's who you are, it's okay. I embrace it.
Now, let me tell you what I realized. Let me tell you what I realized, dude. I poor fucking Bethany, my fiance, because when I listen to the buffoonery that comes out of my mouth, like it sounds good when I'm saying it, like it sounds good when I'm talking, and on Champ Talk, we're like, da-da-da-da, you gotta do this, blah, 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 blah. We talking about what we're passionate about, but when you catch me candid like that, when I catch me candid like that and I hear the shit that comes out of my mouth, I can understand now why I'm always in trouble with this woman, dude. Dude, the things that I say, man, I'm like, what is wrong with you, bro? Yo, and I'm having a blast. Like people don't understand, and I'll be honest with you, in my head, right? In my mind, the world is my playground, bro. I am just like having a blast every minute of it. Even the stressful times, I'm like, well, this storm's gonna pass, cause we're gonna have a party tomorrow, But dude, when I hear it out loud, especially in a movie that potentially could be viewed by millions of people, I'm like, yo, what is wrong with this dude? Oh my gosh. But enough about me. I thought it was a great way that they told the story. You know what I mean? Like, we do this every day. This is like honestly, when Maurice and Logan were following around Taylor and coming to the gym and thing. Dude, honestly, Maurice, I'm sorry. This is just honest to God who I am. I just think that shit is corny. I'm like, okay, we're gonna do in front. Look at us, we're nobody. We're gonna dance in front of the camera. You know what I mean? So I don't really, I don't buy into that stuff. But then like to see the vision be, and see what he saw, because that was only supposed to be like a little 15-minute follow the fighter type thing. The original plan was we're going to kind of do like the embedded, like the UFC embedded, and like the Showtime road to the fight. And he took Maurice and Logan took a week off of work for vacation to come work, which I don't think it was work at that point. It was fun, but until they got edited and stuff. But anyway, so it's like that was supposed to be just something that we were probably going to pitch to the owner of Stellar Fights, Brad. Say, hey, look, this is what we can do. Let's see if we get a sponsorship to cover it, or maybe some other fighters, and we'll follow every fighter around. Well, they'll follow every fighter around and do it like that. And then the beautiful part is what unfolded throughout the course of that week, and that was just 1 week. The week before, Maurice and Logan saw this story that they could tell and this vision that they could tell, and just put their spin on it. And I mean, geez, man, it was beautiful, man. It was really great to see what they were able to put together and hear the response of the crowd. I mean,
Yeah,
the crowd was pretty hyped, dude. They were like, and bro, when I saw that first time and I saw that ending, dude, I was in bed like, with Boo Boo, and I was like, look at this. I'm like, and I saw that, I was like, whoa, I was all pumped up and, ready to, sign up a fight and all this other shit, man.
People crying and stuff.
Oh my
That was awesome.
gosh. What did you take from it, Chet?
quite a few things. Well, the crying part. Talk about the crying part. If you're a parent, if you if you have a kid that plays soccer, baseball, football, whatever it is, they would certainly appreciate. And I don't want to give the whole thing away.
Yeah.
But they will certainly appreciate the part where talking to his parents and mom having her moment. And then
but in other sports ain't like this sport.
I know, but that's the thing. But I love how she's falling apart. But then when he walks out, she's like, that's when something switches, and I turn it, kill him.
But
don't hurt my kid. Now
I played soccer, and Maurice played soccer. And my mom ain't never cry over me playing soccer. She didn't never
Dude, my mom.
Right, and that's what I mean. And that's what I mean by that is like, as a parent, with the kid that plays any would probably really appreciate certainly that.
But that was
that aspect
really
of it.
Honest. What was so great about that? So raw, man.
Yeah.
It was like so true. So even if you knew it was coming up and you watched it, it still wants to choke you up.
Oh man,
it did. That's because it got me the second time. I was like, man.
Well, you were drunk.
Good.
You were
It's
drunk,
so
so you were crying because of that.
I wasn't drunk by that point. By that point, not that did not happen.
That's right. You did see the first screen, and now I all remember. I remember you did see the first screen in Chet, and I've seen it twice before the first screening for the grand opening here, and dude, it was something about that moment in there, dude, and like just watching it, man, it really hit me hard, and we know Pretty Boy, like Taylor takes his shirt off every chance he gets, and he ain't got no problem with being in front of the camera, and but then do you see the raw side of him and being so vulnerable and being able to just step up to the plate and say, look, whatever this is going to go, this is your vision. I'm going to go ahead and put myself out there, and this is as real as it gets, baby, and that's what it is. And you're right, there is no sport like the sport that we do. You know what I mean? So that's why my mom is straight up banned from all my fights, dude. My mom is banned. Not the fact that Stellar Fights told me to kick her out, but the fact is what it is. No.
Yeah, but you kicked her out.
I kicked her out, dude. Well, first of all, my mom can't handle it, dude. She's so emotionally invested. You know what I mean? First of all, my mom pings all over the place. She's right, left, up, down, hold down, and start. You know what I mean? So she's like boom, 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 boom. So to be in this atmosphere where her baby boy, at 40 years old, I'm still her little baby boy in her mind. And I get it. She gets so emotionally invested, and it's so stressful. And the couple times that I got beat, from the ground, she's like, "Dad was there with you." I mean, the trailer park came out so quickly. Dad was there with you. I'm like, "Mom, we got class. I lost. All right, it's a sport, man. Okay, Brandon. Okay." It's so funny. So I was like, man, I'm gonna kind of like save your heart for a couple more years. Watch it on Facebook Live, but it's no more.
One of the really, really, back to the fight part of it, and not to give it all away, but the shots that those guys got and the perspective, and when that was all put together, it was almost worse because he was getting beat than being there, because being there live for the fight, want to run up there and be like, dude, relax, calm down. This is not what no, this is not the way it's supposed to go. And, screaming, you have no voice left the next day.
You're so emotionally invested in it.
But seeing the angles that those guys got, coupled with some of the other stuff from inside the cage with the coaches, I mean, you got to see it. You got to see it to know what I'm talking about. But that was really that made it worse. Watching it was like it was 10 times more intense watching it that way, because and then like a shot of his parents.
Oh yeah.
I was like, but that's the same stuff I saw. Now I'm seeing it there, but there's like all these visions put together.
It's the story being told, man.
It is 10 times more impactful and intense than being there, but having been there, seeing it is like amazing.
Well, especially on the trailer, the second trailer that came out, and it was a clip in the movie where they have when Taylor walks out. And that music, dude, that walk up in the ring, I mean, dude, I was like, I looked over at Bethany like, I just want to fucking fight. Like, I'm ready to get back in there. You know what I mean? It gets you. And she said the same thing. She's like, I want to do that. You know what I mean? I'm like, sit down, Kimasabi. But yeah, it's like one of those things, bro. Like, it just, the story told. You talk about the coaching, man. I really, really had a total flip of admiration for DeMont and his cornering, man. If you listen to what he was saying and the things he was picking up on, you know what I mean? Like,
That's what I mean. Because
Oh
you
my
can't when you're there
gosh.
watching it, you're getting bits and pieces, and then it all kind of comes
But I
back
told you
to the
that.
same.
Oh yeah,
When I cornered, when you went out,
he's so good,
and
man.
I told you, I said, man, he's brilliant.
Oh, he is.
And
Shout out to Coach DeMont Giddens, executive producer, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I just told you, man, because you've always thought, I had that mind and everything. And sitting in the back when he was going for his fight and the things he was saying to him, I was like, my God, it's exactly what I was
Yeah.
thinking, the angles and the stuff he said. And I'm like, this dude's brilliant, man. This is awesome, man.
I'm trying to figure out a way to trick DeMont into staying with us forever. That's what I'm working on. Like he's got his he's got his girl across the bridge, and I mean he goes back and forth. I mean he's another one, man, that just puts it all on the line every single day to make it happen. And he's been up front with me. He's like, dude, I'm not going to be the program. I'm not going to be I'm just not my family. I completely understand and stuff like that. But that doesn't stop me from trying to trick him into staying forever because he really does. In his classes, dude, over at SBY MMA and Fitness, his boxing training and boxing conditioning class. First of all, we got a stable full of young Spanish boxers, right? That's the best, right?
Right.
Them little Spanish dudes can bang, bro. So it's nothing but Spanish kids in there, man. And they just keep multiplying and multiplying. I'm like, keep coming, you know what I mean? And Tyre make jokes, you know what I mean? And I'm like, nah, brother. We want my amigos, because these guys are tough, So it's an ongoing joke. But his training and his conditioning classes and everything that he does just manifests and grows, man. And he's one of them coaches that people are attracted to. And I tell you, man, he's really been a huge blessing to our program from the beginning and even what it is now.
Maybe you guys do a documentary on just on DeMont. We can get him to stay a little
there
longer.
you go.
Oh, that was just that was just the first one, baby. Don't you worry. We got a whole bunch of stuff. We got the jiu-jitsu side, we got the boxing side. Never know, Coach might have a farewell fight. We might do a weight recovery for Eric. You never know, bro. You never know. So, man, that was great, man. It was. Thank you guys and thank you everybody. In Facebook land and Spotify land and Apple Music land for whoever showed up and supported. We were able to hit the benchmark of $3,500. So check this out. We put on Facebook the Kickstarter program, which is a program that if you don't hit your benchmark, you go back. They give you the money back. So if they don't, it's not like GoFundMe. GoFundMe is like, how much money can I raise? Give me all the money I can for something weird. This was actually for a point, and I'm not even going to get into what the money's for. It was for sound. It was for coloring. It was for marketing. It was for putting it all on the platforms that we needed to. But it was cool because if you don't hit that benchmark, then they refund the people the money, right? And we were starting off at $1 contributions, $5 contributions. We had different tiers, and we hit the benchmark going into this event, which to me is remarkable alone because this ain't got nothing to do with nobody.
Right.
This is just simply Maurice's vision, simply a couple of dudes that fight in the cage, and it's remarkable, and goes back to last week's episode with Andrew. How supporting local just. Man, it goes so far. I feel confidently that's put so much confidence in Maurice. And I saw a post that you posted talking about, I don't care what happens, I'm not stopping here. We're going to keep going. You could hear the passion in his voice about his project. You know what I mean? And there's going to be probably hundreds of more projects that Maurice is going to do in the course of his lifetime. This is just, probably, I don't know, the biggest or the one or the focus or the newest or whatever you want to call it. But you just hear that passion in the verbiage that he said on that post about, how he feels about the support that everybody showed up. The grand opening, packed place in here. The premiere up there, packed place in there. We didn't really even market it that heavy. Like I could market some things to have like a full on, 100 people show up, which we could do in the future. And we probably do got some other plans. So shout out to everybody. Thank you to everybody for the people that supported and donated and just showed the love and showed up that night and all the above, man. It was really awesome. Where do we go from here with that, Maurice? So if people want to watch the video, is it available for sale right now, or are we waiting until it gets through the proper channels first?
Opening this week, it is on Amazon.
Okay, so we're working to get the approval from Amazon that the movie will be accepted. We've got it pushed up, and they're a little bit behind on reviews because movies are coming out all the time. So we're hoping to get some sort of acceptance with that, you know what I mean? And then we'll find out if Amazon will pick it up, and that'll be the beginning. So you'll be able to watch it through Amazon. We'll be trying to head through as many channels as possible. We're looking at music or film festivals. So it's a big process that they have to do. It's not just like submit my thing and let's go. You know, they have to watch it. They have to prove it. They study it. They have thousands of movies that they go through, these different channels that they're looking at. The ultimate goal is Netflix, I'm assuming, right? That's the big one. So if we can hit Netflix, then, you know, we'll feel that we've accomplished something, you know, regardless of where it goes. And, you know, again, when it hits Netflix, that's just our foot in the door, baby. You know, we know that we've got some sort of recipe, and I say we. I mean, it's Maurice and the brand. I'm just happy to be the executive producer. But no, we know that we got something. So,
and what was really cool is you had absolutely no actors in it at all.
none. You weren't in it at
I
all.
wasn't in. Well, one little spot in the background, and when he won, I was like taking pictures or videoing after he won.
Well, I did see you go.
That was it.
I did see that.
I was like, there's my cameo.
yeah, there we go.
But that was cool.
Awesome.
No,
Awesome.
you're not going to try out for the Cobra Kai.
Dude, I'm not. Thank you for putting me on there. I'm like, he wants me to go to Atlanta for $88. I'm not doing
No,
it.
not hard.
But the fact that it was Cobra Kai, trust me.
You thought about it, right?
I was like, dude, I would like to be
Wear
in
the
that.
shirt and everything. Yeah.
I would like to be in that, man.
You have to grow the
I'll be the
mustache.
old douchebag with the mustache.
What was
and
the
cross,
description was
But I'm wearing my mullet
mustache
and
and a
everything.
hairy
man.
chest, right? That was the description,
I would
yeah.
do it, man. But
Oh,
I was
man.
like, it's too far, man. But
I'm always thinking about
I
you.
appreciate it, man. I appreciate it because you tag us a lot and stuff.
Yeah,
and
Chet's
I do
on it.
check it out, man.
Chet's on it.
But
Yeah. So,
I was saying something. I have to tell you this.
Yeah.
With him, I was laughing about, you know, in the thing talking about how hard he works and everything, and then the camera. At least he could have edited, made it like 6 a.m. or something. It was like 10:30 a.m. Here he comes into the gym. I'm like, dude, do you know how many people do this? And they're up at 5 a.m. chasing chickens
Yeah.
and stuff around.
Yeah.
He's coming up 10:30 a.m. Dude, half the day's over. Man.
what about the one shot when Taylor was cutting weight and he's sitting on the ring with his like boxers hanging out? I couldn't help but go, ugh, like that. He's just like
I
staring at
remember
the
that.
waiting
I
for something
remember
to
that
fall
from that
out.
night.
spread
Straight
eagle.
laughing.
Ain't no falling out with him.
But look, it was funny. We were
Falling in.
talking about his math skills too.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
He come up there. He's like,
He was getting creative.
He was like, this is he'd say, I need to be 155. I'm 158. Or I'm 159. So then he'd say, I'm like 3 pounds off or something. Like he would say, like the math was not there. Like every time he would say it, and we were
They
laughing
never
about
said that fighters were smart.
That's true.
The
They wouldn't
scale
be
was
fighting.
the scales were
They
always
wouldn't be
messed up.
fighting.
The scales were wrong.
yeah. He
Well,
would say
here's
that.
the funny part about that, right? And not to
But
get
then he said, but I like how he said, like I asked Brandon, I whispered to him, I said, did you learn a lot during this that you didn't know? He's like, yeah, because he's like, I'm gonna tell Brandon I'm only 2 pounds off, when he's not, or hate Brandon, he's talking about this. And
He's
that.
calling me already. That
Yeah.
weirdo C.
He's a weirdo, man.
Yeah.
I liked all that, man.
But nobody could hear. I was like, "Hey, Taylor, this is super nice, Coach Brandon. Just want to say hi. How you doing? How's your weight, buddy?" And I was like completely different than any other time. But it's funny, and not to give anything away, but the weight
We're giving it all away.
Oh,
You just got to
everything.
see it.
No,
though.
they gotta watch it.
But
Watch
the,
it.
the weight cut thing, what people don't realize is he was using his mom's scale, which this is like 8 pounds off. That's what he says on camera. He's using
That's what I mean.
He's using the gym scale, right? Oh well, that's 2 pounds over at the white. He's cutting weight like 2 days in advance. Like I'm like, why do you not listen to me? I just let him crash and burn. And then when we get to my scale, and how many times have I made weight, Coach?
Every time.
Every time. So we get to my scale, he's 4 pounds over. Over. Yes. They never saw that part,
Yeah,
dude.
you were pissed.
Oh, I was so mad. I was like, you wonder why I'm calling you in the morning saying what's up. But
I like how he put the text up there too.
Oh, he
where he
did.
had it showing, and you're like,
all right, we talk about this anymore.
liked
We're going to
it.
give everything
I
away
liked
because I
it
just
though,
want
man.
to tell all.
But they
of
gotta
it.
watch it. They need to get it.
Yeah, if you
It's
guys
so good,
don't,
though.
if you guys
So
get a
good.
chance, man.
We got it on the black market for $59.99.
Yes, we do. I got links right now. You just DM, slide in my DMs.
$59.99.
$59.99. You can get your copy right meow. Okay, right meow. All right. But like I said, man, shout out to Maurice and Logan and the brand, and keep an eye out for like I said, Taylor McMahon, the Price of Glory. It's a great little documentary and depiction of our everyday life, man. So real cool. Other things, man. Big fight this weekend. Actually, there was 2 big fights. Nobody talks about the UFC
Who
fight.
cares about that one?
Dude, it was a bad
Not with this
fight.
boxing one.
No. Yeah, the boxing fight definitely. We had Tyson Fury defeated Deontay Wilder, man.
I was rooting for him with everything that happened with him, and fighting the depression and
Yeah.
and how fat he got, because I got to battle that all the time. But I really was like, man, which one's going to show up? He's battling all this, especially with the way he went, and then with Wilder's punch, man, I'm like, dude, it don't take but one shot, man. So
man, he hit so
man, I
hard.
was shocked the way it went down, man.
Did you watch the whole thing, or you just catch the highlights?
No, I tried to watch it, but as long as it went, I didn't get to watch it. I ended up like,
It only went like 5 or 6 rounds. What are you talking about? As
I
long
was
as it
like
went?
into my second Crown Coke, and I was out.
Hey, Eric,
It was either the dumplings or the Crown and Coke. I don't know.
you know how when you guys go, how we go to like a UFC fight, you know what I mean? And there'll be a little drug on, and you see like nothing but decisions. So you're kind of in the crowd, and you're all kind of drunk and nodding your head. Eric's the only one that does that at the actual live fight in my corners. He's like, get off your fucking back. It's so crazy.
He looks over for some information. I'm like, what? Oh, yeah, I saw that. Just keep fighting.
Yeah, one time
doing what you do.
Yeah, one time I looked up over there, right, and he woke up, wiped his face, and I thought he was telling me to wipe my face, so I wiped my face. Got hit like 6 more times, dude. I'm like, this is horrible. That didn't work, coach. Let's back up and punt. Yeah, man, big boxing match went on this weekend. I like both their stories, dude, because if you follow both of them, man, we know Tyson Fury's battled depression, battled a lot of things. I think he had a gun to his head right before he decided to like really take his boxing career to the next level.
But
And
they got paid.
25 each.
Yeah. No, that was minimum.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
just
that's
showing
not-
up.
right.
You know?
No.
But Deontay Wilder, man, people don't know. Like, you talk about 5 a.m. and chasing chickens. I mean, Deontay Wilder really, I think he was taking. I don't know all the story, but he's taking care of his family. He's working like 2 jobs or something, and he's still getting up and making the sacrifice to become, the beast that he is. And both of them. With Fury's last fight, if people don't know, Fury got knocked down in the
Yes.
last round.
Nasty.
I mean, and he's like the only man to ever get back up.
I don't know how he got up.
I mean, so champion's heart, man, and then even Deontay Wilder. So, I mean, when he got hit in that ear, dude, you could see his equilibrium had changed the whole time. I mean, it wasn't just the fact that he was getting rocked. I mean, that ear punch will shake you down. Yeah, I mean, you're all wobbly legs, not because you're out, because you just can't get it together. And I mean, he wanted to go out on the shield, man. He wanted to go out like a warrior and get knocked out, and live and die. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. And the corner said, no, we're not going to do it, which I think was a great call.
Of course.
I think it was a great call.
He didn't want to be like Apollo Creed.
Correct.
Rocky wanted to throw the towel in for him.
Correct.
But, Apollo
Yeah.
Creed said no. Same
Well,
thing with you. You never let me throw the towel in for you.
No. Well, I mean,
You
Dang.
lost. You lost anyway. So I mean, I could have saved you some pain. Do not throw, dude. You've lost every round. Let me just throw this in and we'll start over. Let me do. I can win, coach.
one more punch, coach.
And then he wakes up. And I'm like, no, but I knew better than do that.
It's funny because it's true.
But I would have if I ever felt like
Yeah.
you needed it
Well,
for your safety.
one of my fights, I mean, I think with my fight, I damage was not one of the
No.
things that I struggled with. I was not saying I couldn't or wouldn't have, but I was pretty good at avoiding getting beat down so bad. I had a couple lumps and beat up a couple pretty bad sometimes, but nothing significant, nothing like my opponents. You know what I mean? But anywho, nah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, we know where I got exploited, which brings me to my next point. So a lot of people didn't realize this, and you're gonna love what I'm about to say, Eric. Fury was training with, I think, Darren Till or another English fighter before this fight, working MMA. Right, he was doing some MMA stuff, and there was a couple of videos that surfaced, and Instagram posts that surfaced, and everybody was like, "Oh, Tyson's coming to MMA." No, dude, he cross trained like we always talked about. And what I loved about the fight is Tyson Fury had a specific game plan. He came in 25 pounds heavier, right, and he laid on Deontay Wilder and put the body on him, put the clinch work that we talked. If you saw him scooping up, he was almost going for like a guillotine. He wasn't trying to hook his head for a choke. He was trying to weigh him down and put his weight on. That's a 6'9", 275-pound man, a boxing man, athlete at that. And you could see after the second round, he was already feeling the effects of that kind of work. And we've had a couple instances where our boxers come in and work some clinch work with us, and we kind of show them how to get the underhooks and kind of show them how to get the angles to be able to get out of that and fight through it. And they are gassed. I remember Nigel was with us and did it for the first day. I was like, Nigel, this might help you a little bit, And I mean, Nigel's got great cardio, works very hard. And I mean, he was 2 rounds in. I mean, he's huffing and puffing. Arms are heavy. I'm like, man, we should spar right now, but nobody. But yeah, dude, I thought that was a brilliant strategy. Tyson Fury really made the fight ugly, got in his face, stayed heavy on him, and it brilliantly worked, man.
It made him look brilliant.
Oh, it did. It did. It really did. Another thing I know you loved was the song at the end. Wasn't that brilliant? Did you see that? So he sung.
I just seen him lick the blood. from his neck.
That was so awesome. So
But he didn't bite anybody's ear or anything.
No.
But he licked. Oh.
He just licked the blood.
What was the song he sang, Chet? Do you know this? I can't.
I'm trying to remember.
It's one everybody
I was
sings.
fuzzy Saturday.
Yeah, it's one everybody sings. Huh?
American Pie.
American Pie, yeah. Bye.
Whatever.
He said, I told you I was going to sing a song. So he gets in there sang it. And the whole
Crowd
stadium, it was genius, dude. The whole stadium is singing the song, man. And he's having a blast in there, man. It was cool. I talked to my girl. I was like, man, this guy is crazy, man. He's so fun. I mean, look at him. Who does that? And she made an interesting point. She said, Brandon, when you battle depression and when you battle those suicidal thoughts and you battle mental illness to that degree and you find that light that you've always been looking for, you find that spark, she said he's living his life full out. And that's just a testament of, dude, he just won the heavyweight championship of the world against I'm a big Wilder fan. I like Wilder. I didn't really like the comment he said on the radio one time where he said he didn't care if he killed somebody in the ring. But I mean, again, he's a savage. Wilder really, really, really earned my respect with his post-fight statement. What he said, he was very humble. He's like, and I think the towel throwing in made it set up so that they can set up a third one and stuff like that. Maybe potentially fight, Joshua. But I gained so much respect for him because he was like, it happens. I don't agree with my corner, but they stopped it. I'll be back to fight again, and hats off to him. No excuses. It was really cool. But the fact that Tyson Fury sang American Pie in front of millions of people the way he did, just all out. I mean,
horrible.
No, he was actually not a bad singer. He was passing the mic off to like the old guy in there, and that old guy's like, it was like so cool. He hiccuping his shit because he's drunk as hell, But yeah, man, it was.
Didn't he at one point too? And I don't remember which fight it was. He donated a lot of millions of dollars to homeless.
His whole purse,
wasn't it?
the
Okay,
last
it was
$9 million.
That's pretty amazing.
$9 million. No, I wasn't homeless. It was to mental health.
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
It was-
it was mental health. People that are dealing with it, or research, or something like that, man. But and that's what I kind of wanted to touch on today was the whole issue with mental health and depression and suicide and stuff like that. And how much we have been just completely ignoring it for over the course of time and just acting like, you remember Pop-Pop would come back from the Vietnam War and Pop-Pop was a little off and a little crazy and, there's some things he wouldn't do. And, we would just chalk it up to like, Pop-Pop was in the war. He's seen some shit and move on. Like, dude, he's like struggling every single day trying to just be normal. You know what I mean? Trying to just like not kill my mom. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't mean to joke about it, but I mean, it's as serious as it is. Like, he literally saw things in war that our veterans and our soldiers are seeing right now that are just, and back then was even more horrific because there wasn't as much technology and as much sitting behind lines. Now they were right on the forefronts of.
Yeah, you weren't sitting miles away pushing a button.
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
man!
Yeah.
It's so crazy how much we've pushed that agenda to the back, and now it's starting to come forward, and it almost kind of like feels again, and I'm one of these people, man. I'm still got that old school mentality with me, is where I'm like, there's something like I think what really truly testifies and tells as a man is him able to tap into his emotions and able to tap into his feelings and be able to express himself. But I also like that balance of still being that good old cowboy to kind of like, sometimes you don't have to tell everything you're feeling. Sometimes you can kind of hold it back. And sometimes the most important and most significant things that are said is what's left unsaid. You know what I mean? I struggle with the balance of that because I feel like our society nowadays is pushing, oh my gosh, I got to talk about my feelings. Everybody's got feelings. Just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. You know what I mean? It just means you're offended. You know what I mean? That's doesn't mean that what you're offended by means anything, you know, and doesn't mean that, you know, the world's got to change because of that.
Yeah, but you touched on something there too, which is a huge thing. Is you know, guys aren't supposed to break down, freak out, what you know, because you're taught that. You're taught that. That's a generational thing. You're taught that from.
I think we were.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that's something as pushed now as it used to be. But, you know, if you're you know, probably like a 30 and over, and that's kind of like your generation, I think that's what you were taught to was. And I even think that our generation probably pushed the beginning of that where, you know, hey, Pop, I got some feelings over here. You know, respect me a little bit opposed to my dad. You know, my dad's like, I mean, geez, all you do is hear him bitch all the damn time. You know, you don't hear him say nothing. He's either bitching or he's like, you know, got my weed today. I'm ready to go have fun. I'm like, Pop, you know, is there anything in between? There's never nothing in between. You know, it's like, you know, I shout out to my dad. I love him and all, but damn, I'd love to have a good conversation with him one day. But anyway, there goes my mental health coming out. Do we have enough time to talk about this?
Can you wheel the couch out here? I think we're going to have a session with
How does that
Brandon.
make you feel? So how do you feel, Brandon? Well, I'm compartmentalizing a lot of things that are going on inside of my cabeza, my amigo. Anyway, you know, Eric, you've had experience with depression, and you've had experience with all this. In today's society, how do you feel about the balance between, you know, what I'm talking about with being oversensitive and not, you know, expressing yourself enough, as far, especially for men?
Well, I mean, personally, I like the idea. I mean, I think everybody should talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Should have their own person to talk to.
Like you mean a therapist?
A therapist.
Professional,
It's
yep.
it's definitely better to be a therapist, not somebody you know. But if you can't afford it or you can't do it, and there's somebody you trust, and you could talk to them, talk to them. But yeah, I mean, it's weird because it's hard to talk about, like, you feel like, if you know, to me, and especially if you are doing something or you're a fighter or anything, and you have to come to other people and say, dude, I'm battling with, like, you know, I don't feel this, or I feel that, or I feel like nobody cares about me or something, you know, that,
Yeah.
then you feel weak,
Yeah.
you know, and I think, you know, that's something that bothers a lot of people that do feel it. But, you know, a lot of people don't understand it, man. And so, like I said, I remember, and I was explaining this to my wife, there was a tennis player that played, you know, was from the same country as Roger Federer, who's the best in the world. And he was always like 20th in the world, whatever, so nobody paid no mind to him. Battled anxiety, but nobody really, it was no big deal. All of a sudden, he started winning, and he got up in the top, you know, 4 or 5, and actually beat Roger Federer at one time. Quit playing. He couldn't handle the spotlight.
Yeah.
He couldn't handle that he was out in front of people. Quit when he was making millions then. And then people are like, dude, why would he do that? That makes no sense. Because you don't understand. You don't understand what they go through. And then to find it, you know, to find the balance, man, that's what's unreal, man, because you have no idea what you have to do to find the combination of drugs or whatever it is, man, because it takes 2 weeks for this to work. And then when you come off something, it is unreal, the withdrawal symptoms that you have, and the depression and the suicide and all that fits in. And, you know, it's like I said, it's in my family, man. So I've had a lot of people commit suicide in the family. So, you know, I know what it's like with that, and the hurt that it causes. And there's anger that goes with that, with the people too, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like, I know my cousin and her father had did it, and she was so ticked. You know, she's like 2 years old. She's like, how could he do this to me? He didn't love me and all that. You know, she didn't really know what he went through and all, you know. So, you know, it's hard, though. It's hard to explain to them. You can say that all you want, but, you know, when they feel like they abandoned them and they didn't have that, you know. But I think you should talk to somebody. We talked about it, man. You've talked about talking to somebody and
man.
stuff. You need it. But I also do believe in everybody that watches this that fights, whether it's boxing, anything. You cray, man. I just want y'all to know that fighters,
You're wired differently.
you got
for sure.
problems, okay?
Yeah.
If you enjoy getting punched in the head, and Brandon enjoys getting punched in the head, I know Brandon crazy, but if you enjoy beating the hell out of somebody, something's wrong with you too.
Yeah, both sides of the
Because
coin.
you shouldn't enjoy hurting people. Like
And
that,
I mean, to be
man.
honest with you, man, like people ask me how I do it. To be honest with you, man, it's therapy. Like it is truly therapy for me to
I
get in
agree.
there. And they're like, yo, and he heard it Friday, Saturday night. He said the same thing that I've been saying
It
for
is.
years. They're like, yo, how do you get in the ring or in the cage? And how do you, do that? What's going on in your mind? Bro, that is where I'm at peace. Like that is finally, the camp's over. Thinking about this fighter who's been thinking about me for 8 weeks, 12 weeks is over. You know what I mean? The constant training, the vigorous, the diet, doing everything wrong. Like the fucking fight day and weight cut day. You know what I mean? Like those days alone are just so draining and stressful. And like, it's just like, you're up, you're down, you're up. You're trying your hardest to hold it together. You're trying your hardest to keep composure because you don't want to waste any energy by getting excited, but it's still an adrenaline rush. By the time I step into that cage, dude, there's no more thoughts. There's no more, it's just zen. You know what I mean? It's just zen. It's just like, no matter how hard and how difficult my fights have been, yo, we're doing what we're finally home. You know what I mean? We're finally home, and it's just such a chaotic peace for me. You know what I mean? It's peaceful chaos where I'm just in there and I'm doing what I've been trained to do, but at the same time, it's like, yo, this is what I'm meant to do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But then it's over.
And then it's over.
And then you have to figure out something else. If you have a mental issue, a lot of people, you need that. I'm one of them.
Yeah.
That's why at 47 years old, I still do whatever I can. And my wife complains constantly of why you still do it. And, I told you as soon as I get back from this cruise the next week, I'm right back to it. I got to get back into it because you have something to look forward to, like last year and, going for the belt or whatever. I had something to focus on. And what it does is it keeps that mind from being idle and stuff too, and you're
start
focused,
drifting and
you
thinking.
start doing something, and you really need it, man. I think it's good for you. Even if I go to jiu-jitsu or something, and even if I get beat up that day, man, even if somebody's trying to tear you up,
It's still a good day.
It is, but you're letting your anxieties or whatever out, whether it is on somebody or they're doing it. You're still, trust me, that energy's going when somebody else is smashing.
Oh,
you
yeah.
too. You know what I'm saying? So it still feels great for you, and you still need it, man.
So, well, I'm gonna ask you a question because I feel like this is like the biggest disconnect between when you talk about somebody who deals with depression, because there's another side of not wanting to talk about depression. It's not just the fact that you feel weak, but also saying like, yo, man, I've been having these thoughts. Mm-hmm. Now you're gonna always have in the back. Now most people have in the back of their mind that, dang, I told Eric about how these thoughts I'm having. Now he's going to dance around me. And every other time he sees me, you okay? Is everything okay?
Right.
Like, I don't want to be that either.
Right.
So where's what, in your opinion, and I'll ask you as well, Chet, where do you guys think the connect is from, if somebody was on the edge of having suicidal thoughts and somebody was thinking about taking their own life, what reach out and what kind of support do you think would be the biggest recommendation, man? I mean, because that's like, to me, it's like you hear somebody pass away and kill themselves, right?
Right.
And I have had so many friends kill themselves, man. Mm-hmm. And I've dealt with the anger and I've dealt with all this, all the emotions that go along with it. And then you see the posts and you hear the people be like, dude, mental illness is real. We need to start checking up on our friends. We need to start reaching out, and then that kind of fades after a couple of weeks,
Right. It does.
And how do you go to somebody who you never would ever think that was suicidal in the first place and say, hey, is everything okay? I don't know if we have the answer here, but that's, to me, seems like the biggest disconnect that we have is like, yo, how do I reach out and what do I say and when do I say it?
It's difficult because we're not trained professionals, the people that maybe somebody should be talking to. And, but, on a basic human level, if you think something's wrong, you want to ask those questions. But I also know personally from talking to people, dealing with people, friends, family, there's that fine line between, hey, are you okay? Do you want to talk? And where they're feeling like you're just bugging the living shit out of them.
Right.
And you've really got nothing that you can offer because and I know, hey, what's wrong? What's wrong? I don't know. I told you 20 fucking times I don't know what's wrong. Well, you have to know what's wrong. I know what's wrong. I know why I'm pissed off. And it took me a while to realize they really don't. If they could
don't.
put their finger on it, they would, and they would tell you, and they would be closer. It's not that they don't want to. I mean, that's just one aspect where, you know, better to say something than not, I guess, and then you know, try to learn what those warning signs might be. And unfortunately, I've had experiences with friends and family that didn't know. It's like, God, how did we not see that? And you look back, it's like, that was so obvious. How did I not know that something more was going on?
But to deal with it is all different too. And let me tell you, anybody that's listening and knows anybody like that, if I thought Brandon was suffering, and you know, maybe I'm close enough that I can come to Brandon, we can actually have a heart-to-heart talk like that. But in reality, we might. But as a mano guys who fight, that's kind of like, you know, it's kind of scary for anybody to break down like that. But you can do things like, you know, instead of just doing it like that, be like, you know, like with Brandon, be like, Brandon, let's train. You want to go train? Let's go let's drill. Let's do this. Let's work on this. Takes his mind off of it. You get the endorphins and stuff moving, and it actually helps temporarily, but it does help. But being there and giving him some meaning actually makes a difference.
Good point.
When you ask me about, say, somebody that I know that's suffering, but I don't know how to connect with them like that, you know, you reaching out to them and saying something is probably not going to help them. You know,
Right,
it's not going to help them in that way. But you can find, you know, talk to somebody that you both are acquaintances with that does talk to them, and, you know, talk to them about doing something with them. Why don't y'all go do something that y'all usually do?
So
you know,
you're saying basically, instead of taking the initiative of saying, reaching out, hey, are
Yourself,
you okay?
right.
Either one, don't reach out and say, reach out and do. Figure
Right.
out a stimulant or something to get
Absolutely.
their mind off, or go to a third person carrier and maybe we can double team this from the side and say, hey, what do you think? That's a great point, man.
And also going to people that can help. Finding, I mean, I've given people numbers and
they
names
don't wanna do it.
of therapists.
Most
and
people won't do it, though.
I know, but it's like a step closer. Some of them have, though, and that's, you know, would they have taken that? I don't know. Can't say if they would have taken that initiative, because you can tell them, but it's like, put it in their hand and be like, dude, you've got to go call them today. Like, this is not good. You need help.
Right.
And I fully, 100%, man, people should have somebody to talk to.
You know what I
agree with
I
that.
learned in a leadership course was a huge effective thing to say to your spouse, to your family member, to friends, to work colleagues, to all the above, is say to the person, what do you need from me, right? And the first thing somebody's going to say is like, oh, I'm good.
Right,
No.
nothing.
What do you need from me? And they might even think you're being smart. Like, listen, this is a true conversation. This is me going first, me being vulnerable, as your friend, as your lover, as whoever. What do you need from me? And when they answer this, right, when they say and say, you don't have to answer now. Take a couple minutes, you know, take a day, whatever. But I need to know, for the sake of our friendship, what do you need from me? And then when they answer that question, obviously listen and pay attention. But the other thing is, okay, what else do you need from me? And what else do you need from me? And give me as many things that you can tell me you not want. And, you know, like, people are going to blanket statement. No, I just need you to listen. No. This is an honest question. What do you need from me? And dude, like, it's worked so much for me with my communication with others and within my personal relationships to really get to a point of getting past that barrier and passing that first stage of, you know, fear or insecurities or you know, hidden agendas and stuff like that, because people really don't know what you need. One of the biggest things I struggle with, and I think we all can relate, is we know so much about what we don't want. Do we even know what we want out of life?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think about, like, what do I really want out of my life? Like, I know the benchmarks I want to hit, the goals I want to hit, but what do I want 10 years, 5 years, 20 years down? What do I want? You know, you ask your girl, where you want to go eat? Well, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want. What do you want? You know, and that's a really hard question to answer if you really peel back the layers and think about it. Like, what is it that I want out of life? You know?
But another thing that you can do, and Brandon, we do this sometimes, and you are good at pointing that out to people. Say somebody looks up, Brandon, you got a lot of people that follow you, right? So if you do suffer with it, and you do it the opposite way, you do that with me, when you find out somebody is dealing with this, because you've done it quite a few times with people that we've dealt with, and you will send them my way.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you won't tell, you will say something to them that Eric has battled this or that, but you also say something to me, and that gives me the opportunity to approach them. And if they see somebody like me, say it's one of your students,
Yeah.
and they know that you're up here and you're in this position or whatever, they look up to you, and they know that, man,
look up
I'm
to
not
you.
alone.
Yeah.
I'm not alone. That even this person who I look up to is battling the same thing I am. That's a big thing, too.
And that's the
That
truth.
helps.
Yeah, that's the truth, bro. Like I really do look up to you,
I
you know,
don't-
in a lot of ways. I mean, we're friends.
Yeah,
and
but I don't mean you looking up.
no,
to me.
but I
mean these
do.
people.
And when they look up to me or when they see me and they know that I hold you in such high
got
regard,
you.
and then on top of that, you know, I mean, you're cool as a fan. You know, you're a fucking 100th degree black belt. You know what I mean? You're my coach. You're an actor. You're a singer. We connect on so many levels. How cool Eric is, right? But you know, when people see that, right? Honestly, when they see that and they see how high regards, you know, like, you know, everybody looks at Brand like he's at the top of the heap. Dude, standing with the coaches that day, I was at the bottom of the heap, you know, because I'm like around these guys like DeMont and Miles and yourself and Mike and you know, I'm just like, wow, you know, these guys are, you know, this is like a fucking privilege and a gem to be associated, intertwined with these great minds and great visions and stuff, so on and so forth. So it does make a big difference that I can send them your way and that we do talk about that because, you know, you never know whose voice they're going to connect with the most. You know what I mean?
But even you help me, and I think you do know when you're doing this, not by grabbing my hand, but
Hold on
so
to
if he sees that I'm in a slump for a couple weeks, he can tell, and then he'll come up to me and he'll say something, or he'll say, "Man, I need to work on this. We haven't got to do this in a while. Let's do this or something." You'll do something to try to get me engaged in doing something to help get me out of the
I mean,
funk.
isn't that the ultimate?
And that helps.
Isn't that the
And it
ultimate
works.
payback? Though,
It is
from
but
a
it
student.
works.
You know,
It
absolutely,
works.
absolutely.
So, and that's what it is with me. Like, without a doubt, and I've said this before, if I ever committed suicide, it would be my brain, something happened, you know, CTE kicked in or something for real, because there's not a chance in hell that I would ever want to die.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to die by natural causes. I don't ever want to die. You know, I'd love to live as long as I
Right.
could. But you battle depression and you go through these and but here's the scary part too, and I want y'all to understand this too, when they talk about and I've always struggled with why, you know, somebody, you know, they do it in school, somebody commits suicide and then they bring it up, they have an assembly and they
Yeah.
talk about it. And to me, it's always made me think about suicide when they
More.
bring it up.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's something that's just within me or what, but then it makes you start thinking about it more and stuff. And so sometimes I don't know if it's always right that you should discuss that kind of
Well-
stuff. So I just don't know where the line is as far as that goes.
That's a tough one, but I think
It
it's you know, they're trying to reach. There's the opportunity to reach the masses, and
Right.
there's probably a handful of people there that need that same help that other person couldn't find or didn't get or refused. But I mean, I know what you're saying, but I think maybe that's why they want them to think
Sure.
about it, so they can.
Well,
so they can talk about
It's
it.
interesting you say that, Chet, because and before I say this, man, I'm saying this with all sincerity, all sensitivity. You know, I don't want people to misconstrue what I'm trying to say here. But as someone who is, man, I have lost so many friends, dude. Like I have lost so many family members and friends, you know, to drug abuse, victims of the game. You know what I mean? I've lost them into jail. You know, I got a buddy doing 30 years right now, best friend, childhood best friend. And I've lost a lot of people to suicide. And you know, that's kind of like the gift and the curse. I tell my daughter Tiaja all the time. She's a very popular personality, gets along with everybody. And she's experiencing a lot of death right now, you know what I mean? And I'm like, dude, that's the gift and the curse of knowing people and connecting with people is you have to experience so many loss. And with the people that committed suicide, man, I've had some really close friends who've done it, and I've had some distant friends, and just all across the board, a lot of people that I know. Man, I held that same anger and same resentment and the same confusion. And you know what I mean? Like for the longest time, I was so pissed off with my friend Mike, man. I was so mad at him. Like, dude, why did you do this, man? How could you do this to us, man? Like, how could you do this to your mom? And I mean, just so pissed. And like, there's been times I wouldn't even go to their funerals. And you know, I would just hold on. And I think I had an aha moment. The last friend that committed suicide of mine, it hit me. And again, I'm saying this with all sensitivity. I'm not trying to hurt or cross any lines here, but I have to say my truth. And what my truth is regardless of your religious beliefs and regardless of how you feel, you know, the thing about it is, and the unfortunate thing about it is, suicide is a part of life.
It is.
You're always going to have people that are going to feel like the world's better off without them. And you're always going to have people that are going to feel so hopeless and so down now and nobody could catch them and nothing was said, nothing you could do. And like my boy Mike, man, I was on his side every minute. I knew he was suicidal. I knew he was thinking of his thoughts, and I tried so hard. And the 1-2 times I wasn't available, you know, those were his reasons, excuse. And we know it wasn't my fault. And we know that was the fact that he just was not, he wasn't there. But it's a part of life. You know, suicide is a part of life. And for us to deal with that, you know, we can always sit back and say, well, you know, you're going to live in purgatory or you're going to go straight to hell. We can always say these things that we hear through our religious beliefs, but we really don't know.
No, we don't.
I don't care what anybody wants to say. We don't know where we go and what happens. What I do know is that every single person that I've ever come across in my life, gone here or whatever, has a meaning and a purpose for me to learn, right? I've learned something from them. I've gained something from them. There was something that they had to teach this world. And being upset and holding on to resentment is only hindering any growth that I have and I could have. At the end of the day, you know, regardless of how much it hurts, I have to accept the fact that just was not, but they were here for that reason and their time was gone. Their time is up. Regardless if they took it or not. That's just the way that it is. You know what I mean? And it really helped me put it in perspective. Never made it hurt any less. And I'm not saying suicide's the way to go. But when you talk about the masses and you know, speaking up and now everybody's thinking about it, you know, yes, maybe we can say, you know, 1 over the 5 that we can't say, but at least that was 1, you know, at least that one person that died is not one person that died. That's one person's family, friends, colleagues, and everybody that's going to be affected by that we were able to save. And potentially he could or she could pass that along to the other people that are struggling in some sort of real world, real life experience. You know, it's an unfortunate part about it, man, but suicide is a natural part of life that nobody wants to accept and nobody wants to face, you know. And, you know, I feel so empathetic for the mothers and the fathers that have had to bury their children or the kids that had to bury their dads. Or, you know, it's such a shitty fucking feeling, man. It's such a harsh reality of life. But, you know, the biggest thing I could say is, what did you gain by the life they're experiencing, by the life they live? You know, we're looking at the Kobe Bryant celebration of life today. You know what I mean?
We're celebrating life.
Man, that's how I want to go out, bro. Like, I'm clearly not a suicidal kind of person, but at the same time, when I die, man, I want people to fucking celebrate what I've given to this world, what I've given to them. And I will be the guy that makes the video to make everybody laugh at my funeral and stuff like that, to lighten the mood, because I don't want people crying over my death. You know, I don't want my daughters, man. I don't want my daughters getting hicked up and stuck on the fact that they could have had a little bit more time with dad or they messed. No, dude. What happened was what happened, and the way it goes, the way it goes. So, you know, that's been my my coping mechanism to deal with the friends that have gone, and, you know, unfortunately, probably the friends that will go, you know, in the future, to say, you know what, I've learned this from them. It sucks that they couldn't do this. I wish I could have done things different, but at the end of the day, this is the lesson that the universe has taught me, and I'm just so thankful for the years that I had with them. You know what I mean?
I think there's a lot to that too. You know, nobody wants that to happen. Nobody wants to accept it. No, I mean, of course, you want to try to prevent it, help as many people as possible. But then, I mean, you look at, of course, you know, celebrities get a lot of the spotlight. But when you look at people like, you know, the Robin Williams or the Anthony Bourdains, like, you know, well, first thing people say is, well, how could they be so depressed that they'd want to, their life was so great? Well, clearly it wasn't. Right. There's something going on. But somebody that is, they know about the resources available. Money's not a problem to get the top-notch care.
Doesn't matter.
And it still doesn't matter.
Well,
Gary Vee, if they want to do it, they're going to do it, and that fucking sucks.
Yep. Well, Gary Vee said this brilliantly, man. I know we got to wrap this up, but he said this brilliantly. He was like, dude, if you're a miserable person and you get rich, you're just going to be even more miserable. You know, if you're unhappy and you get rich, money's not going to make it. Fame and money is a big responsibility. It's not as easy as people think. People think that, oh, money's going. Yes. Will money make a lot of things easier in your life? Absolutely. Will money make a lot of things accessible but in your life? Absolutely. But yo, if you're a happy person in life and you get money, you're going to be happier. If you're a miserable person in life and you think money's going to fulfill that need, you're going to be even more miserable, and you're going and it's never going to be the magic end all. You know, look how many really successful people, rich people that you know got money and are just assholes in real life, man. Just shitty people. You know what I mean? Like
They'd be shitty either way.
They're gonna be shitty either way, bro. So look, man, got a little deep on you guys today, but you know that's what Champ Talk with Brandon Hudson's all about. Is we talk about what people don't want to say sometimes, and what people don't want to speak about. Yo, if you are having troubles, man, or if you know somebody is, every person at this table would be more than willing to take time out of our day or night or whatever just to sit back and talk and rap and do whatever we can. You know, we have a small platform that we utilize to be able to get out the things that we've gone through, and the biggest thing that we have is we have a huge support system, or you know, with the network and the circle that we're in. We have a great leadership and great support system and great people around us. So, you know, if you know anybody suffering or you're suffering yourselves, and you know, maybe you're thinking somebody's going to judge you or somebody's going to say something that or look at you a different way, you're not going to be looked at a different way at this table, because you know you got the infamous Eric Evans is vulnerable enough to put himself on you know the airways and talk about the things that he struggled with. You know what I mean? You guys know how I feel and how much I love in my heart. Chet the same way. So man, reach out, you know, and reach out on this podcast and talk about, you know, the comments. Let us know what you think. Let us know how you feel. Let us know what we can do to help, man. Because
tell us what do you need from us?
Yes, what do you need from us? Not money. I ain't giving you no motherfucking money. I'm telling you that right now. But that's it, man. That'll wrap up this next episode of Champ Talk with Brandon Hudson. This episode was brought to you by Dead Stock of Salisbury. Check them guys out. DM them. They got all the fresh sneaks with toilet paper at the bottom. I am your host, Brandon Hudson. To my left
is the Eric Evans.
Hold on. Sure. And to the far left is
Just Chet.
Guys, what are you doing today to become a champion?